special episode of Statistically Speaking. Yes, we are talking about the NEET farce that has happened to the lakhs of students of our country who took the examination but have been fleeced because of the discrepancies, because of the grace marks given, and because of the partiality that has been shown to certain number of students who have ended up passing the exam and the others who have not. In fact, there has been a massive demand by the students that the examination should be reconducted. So here's a poll that we have taken from the students, from everybody across the country. What do they think of the demand that has been made by the students that reconducting of the exams should happen, and a few other questions. Question number 1, should NEET undergraduate 2024 exam be reconducted? Well, yes, at a resounding 89%. 89% of the people feel that yes, NEET exam needs to be reconducted. No at 10%, and 1% of the people can't make up their mind whether a re-examination should happen for the NEET undergraduate. Question number 2, do you think a fraud was committed during the examination that was undertaken for NEET undergraduate 2024? 89% of you vehemently believe that yes, there was a fraud that was committed. 8% of the people feel that no, there was no fraud committed. 3% of the people cannot make up their mind whether there was a fraud committed or not. Question number 3, do you think an inquiry must now be conducted to get to the root of this controversy? 95%, a big majority of you who have taken this poll survey feel that yes, there needs to be an investigation, there needs to be an inquiry that needs to be made to get into the root cause of the situation. A very low percentage of 4% feel that no, there should be no inquiry that is required in this case. Question number 4. Are you satisfied with the action taken by the National Testing Agency in probing into the issue? 64% feel that no, the National Testing Agency has not taken up the right measures and the half-hearted approach that it has utilized in assuaging the students over the fraud that has been committed, over the scam that has been committed. 28% of the feel that yes, that the National Testing Agency has worked well in the action that it has taken. 8% of the youth feel that don't have an opinion on this. Question number 5. Is the Supreme Court right in allowing the counselling of the students who have cleared the NEET exam? Well, 63% of the people feel that no. The students who have been passed in the exam in 2024 NEET undergraduate should not be allowed to get counselling till the time the inquiry is completed, till the time an investigation is completed and it has been found what happened in this examination. Yes, 30%, you say that the students who have been passed in the examination, their counselling should continue and they should be placed in the medical college which they are allowed to be placed in as per their marks that they have received. So these are the 5 questions that we asked of the people who have taken the poll, taken the survey, and let's start off our conversation over here with my panelists. And in fact, I'm going to get 2 students who took this examination, and let's hear it from them. I have with me Soumya Gupta. Soumya Gupta is a NEET aspirant and scored 715 marks, and the score that Soumya got was 150. So Soumya, thank you for joining me on the telecast, and of course let's try to understand from you what has your experience been. Why is it that so many students are demanding that there should be a re-examination? What are the discrepancies you feel have happened that an exam should happen once again?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Soumya Gupta and I have scored 715 marks in NEET 2024 and my All India rank is 150. And I was very happy with my marks and my score, and I was dreaming of going to AIMS Delhi. But after seeing my rank, I was very disappointed. And I feel that the grace marks thing that the NTA has taken, that is not fair at all because the cutoff has gone so high. There is so much inflation in cutoff, and people scoring 630 to 650 marks are not getting their colleges in medical, government medical seat, and that's very
Okay.
disappointing.
So who have you reached out to now? Now that you're unhappy that you've gotten 715 score and you still won't be able to get into the college of your choice, and there you have people who've gotten 720 marks and there are grace marks that have been given. Do you think the providing grace marks to certain individuals, and what do you think the parameters on the basis of which the grace marks are given are correct?
I think the grace marks given to the students who have got some difficulties in the exam center and is not very fair and not very logical because the formula that they have used, which we don't even know, have given marks like 200, 300 marks. So this is not at all fair because many of the students are suffering who have genuinely prepared and give have given the exam with utmost sincerity.
Okay.
So I think NTA should remove the normalization and grace marks and find some other way to deal with the situations and the difficulties they have faced. The section of students who have faced the
Yeah. So
time loss
Soumya, would you
in
want that this exam be reconducted?
No, I'm not in the favor of reconduction of exam for the whole country because there are so many. There are like 20,000 students who have prepared with sincerity and have scored well and are getting an MBBS college, and this is not fair to them. But instead, there should be some criteria like Re-NEET for the students who are unhappy with their scores and who have faced time loss and other anomalies on the day of examination. And there can also be a choice basis Re-NEET that some people who want to give the examination again, there should be some criteria on the basis of which they can attempt the examination again. But most of the
Okay.
students who have prepared so well and struggled every single day are it's not fair for them also.
Okay. Okay. Stay on with me, Soumya. I also have with me Vishesh. Vishesh is also a NEET aspirant. He scored 672 marks, and his rank is 12,918. So Vishesh, thank you for joining me. And first of all, what do you think of this row that has erupted over this alleged scam over the NEET exams?
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible properly?
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, since I have secured 672, so I was expecting that I'll get the top medical college in my state, that's UP. So I was aiming for that, and I was since a month, since 5th May, I was so happy that I've secured this much marks, and I didn't even tell these much marks to anybody. So I was so happy that first let's get the result finally be announced. But after seeing my rank, I was completely disappointed. I was expecting about 2,500 rank, but I got about 13,000, close to that. I'm just barely managing to get a seat. So I don't think it's a fair system. And whatsoever argument till now so far we have made with the NTA, they are only focusing on the issues which are getting viral, and rest things they are not just even replying upon it.
Okay.
So I think
do you think there has been a paper leak? There are discrepancies, that there's a fraud that has been committed?
Ma'am, it's not about thinking. There are even the FIRs. The police must have not been doing a fraud. They must have found the things. So, like, there are cases in the Bihar, and also the Gujarat case. It has been recently got in the light that there were the teachers who were filling the OMR. Different states students were set to sit in that Gujarat center, so that the teachers were filling their OMRs. They weren't even understanding Gujarati, and they attended that paper. So I think NTO must accept this flaw. And they are saying that there is a small scam and we are not knowing much about it. We'll look upon it.
Okay.
Today itself, they have released an FAQ sheet, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. Do you want the exam to be reconducted, and will you want to give the exam again?
Ma'am, personally, I don't support the re-exam thing because it's a month that we have left all the studying and we were doing our curricular activities. So it's really difficult to just make ourselves adjust in that system again. So it's really difficult for us. And those who are securing such good, decent marks, so it's really difficult to secure that much marks again. I'm not saying that we aren't capable, but it's difficult to get in that habit again.
So
I don't support.
what should happen now if it is if it's proven that there was a fraud committed, there were paper leaks, there were grace marks given to certain individuals, there was partiality shown. What should be the corrective that should be made for students who ended up losing the opportunity to get to the universities and colleges that they desired to?
I support that they should conduct the re-examination only for the centers which we are doubting that whether there has been a fair practice of conducting the exam or not. We shouldn't conduct the whole examination for all the students because since if you look in the UP, so there hasn't been any flaw. So why we should give again the examination? And also, if you look that in 2015, the AIPMT was reconducted, but it was that there were only 6 lakh people, and now it's 25 lakh people. It's not easy to conduct the exam for everybody. So I support the re-NEET for only those people where they feel that they have been cheated.
But your examination happens on a national basis. Your rank comes not on the basis of the state. It's not a state-wise rank that is announced. The rank is announced on a national level. So if a discrepancy has happened, say in Gujarat or any other part of the state, your rank will be moving up and down depending on the kind of a paper leak or grace mark given to somebody who's sitting out of Gujarat.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you see this problem is going to get resolved if only one state were to go and take the test again?
Ma'am, there is not only single state. There are cases with the Haryana as well that 7 students, if I'm not wrong, are getting 720 from the same center. So there are many states. I'm telling that there have been many FIR, even the police have filed. So I don't think so. There are only few states so that the ranking will not change. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So I support that
Okay.
Re-NEET should be conducted over there.
Dr. D.R. Rai, former General Secretary of the Indian Medical Association, on the telecast with me as well. Dr. Rai, how do you view this entire row that has erupted?
It's really astonishing for us that such an important examination has been taken so lightly, and they are playing with the students who are the future of this country, who are making the nation strong. And if they are studying for continuously for 2 years to get the seat in the medical colleges, and at the 11th hour, once they come to know the paper was leaked and something was there, I think it's a shame on the part of our education system or the authority who has conducted this examination. They should take the responsibility, and even I will request a independent agency should be employed to examine completely and punish those persons who are culprit in that. First thing is that. Second thing is, as the I'm literally surprised. I will give you 2-3 examples. And the registration of this NEET examination was closed in the month of March, and after 9th again it was open for 2 days. Once the registration has been closed, why it was open for 2 days?
Yeah, exactly.
So why there is something fishy. Second thing is, they have given a excuse of a grace mark. And now I give you the writ petition filed in the 2018, writ petition number 551. Writ petition number 551 of 2018. Categorically, they have mentioned grace mark will not be considered for the medical and for the engineering examination. How they can do it? Why they are playing with the life of the students? These are the things which now the other things comes. When 67 students are scoring 720 marks, it's really astonishing for us, very surprising. And 7 students are from the one center and continuous roll number. Again, you are not seeing if something is fishy. Why you are allowing them? What is the meaning of this transparency then?
Absolutely. There is no transparency is what has been the contention of a number of students who have filed their petitions. There has also been a demand, Professor Rajendra Pradhe, that those students who have passed the exam, they should the counseling for these students should be halted till the time there is an inquiry, till the time there is an investigation. It is complete.
To my understanding, now as the matter has been taken up by the Supreme Court and seeking answer from the NTA, they need to satisfy first that there has been no paper leak and the justification for their grace mark. If the matter goes to the first point that there has been paper leak, it is very difficult to ascertain the extent of the leak and who have been the beneficiary and to debar from them from the counseling to get admission. So in that case, probably there will be no other option but to reconduct the examination. But if they can satisfy to the court that there has been no paper leak and that was as per the norms, then regarding the matter of awarding the grace mark can be reviewed by them as per the judgment earlier made by Supreme Court, whether that is applicable or not.
No, but do you think with all these discrepancies that are coming to light, sir, is there even a possibility for the National Testing Agency to prove their point otherwise, that there was a free and fair examination that took place? As all the points that have been raised by Dr. Rai, that there were in a sequence, there are some 7 to 12 students who have all gotten 720 marks, and after that there is a lull and there are students who have gotten, of course, lesser number of marks. There have been grace marks that have been awarded only to a set of people. There are in fact students from one particular coaching center who have all passed, who have all gotten, some of them have even gotten 718, 719 and 720 score.
Wherever you can pinpoint that there has been a beneficiary in an unfair means, you can always debar them from counseling. But if it is not possible to ascertain the extent, it will be very difficult to not to allow counseling to those people where you have not been able to incriminate them. So if there is a paper leak, by all means, reconducting the examination is the only option. But if it is the unfair awarding of a grace mark, that can be reviewed and corrective measures can be taken.
Okay. Dr. Ishwar Gilada, do you think, I raised the very question of the system of our education and particularly how the tests are conducted to then pick the right candidates for the colleges and universities. And the one thing comes to mind is, are these multiple choice questions will form now the basis of selecting a student and his capability of then being admitted into a medical college?
Thank you very much for having me on the show. All the sympathy goes for these young students who are aspiring to be doctors and healthcare professionals. The very nice article today published, written by Ananya Kera. She put a question: what is the best way to test the merit? And the answer is, don't know, I don't know. So all these things have derived out of many years, that which is the best way to test a student. Because when you want the best, and merit is the test. So when you are devising a system, but the systems are open for correction, they are not open for corruption. What has happened with NTA is that it is NTA's 7th year. So when you are in 5 year, 7 year, and 8 year or 10 year, then you should be more profound, should be foolproof, should be totally transparent, which is not happening. So I think whatever system have worked earlier, now with NTA, there are good pros and cons. Earlier there were multiple tests. Every state used to have a different test. In this case, suppose there were 2 or 3 different tests, then the students which are not getting here, they would have another chance. Now there is no chance. So this being only one test in the country, barring Kerala. Kerala has not joined the NEET. So for entire country, there is only one test. And when we have to choose between equity and excellence, is always a difficult task. So in this scenario, I think Honorable Supreme Court has been very fast. They recognize the problem. Even before the advocate for the petitioner could plead, the judges were ready with the answer. The only issue is they have given a date of 1 month, and 1 month is a hell lot of time. I don't think NTA, if NTA says that we are foolproof, let them come out tomorrow, maybe after 1 week, and say how they are foolproof.
Okay.
If there are multiple questions are put by you and everybody in the country, and they have no answer, no perfect answer, that is not a system. And secondly, grace
Okay.
mark for some delays. It is not never a system anywhere in the world.
Okay, Professor Rajendra Pandey, the same response for you since you're the Vice Chancellor of the West Bengal University of Health Science. What should be the best way a student is tested on his or her caliber to get into the college of his choice?
These are all a consensus decision how the examination can be held and can be reviewed. As our system is gradually moving from a knowledge-based system to a competence-based system, the aptitude need to be assessed. Objective question can only give rise to your knowledge information that you have at that particular time of the examination. But the aptitude can be assessed only by maybe a short questions or a direct dialogue. Now, in such a large country, it is very difficult to go to take all the candidates to different stages to ultimately select the best appropriate. So obviously one has to make a compromise for such a large examination and has to glue to one or the other system. There will be deficiency in each and every system. All of them cannot be the best and perfect. But as it is an elimination process rather than a selection process in competitive examination, objective question serves its purpose.
Okay.
Only it is to be designed in a manner with a difficulty index where you can pick up the number of candidates who are actually supposed to be picked up at the end of the examination.
Okay.
So system is all right. Only transparency is to be maintained and the student should be informed well in advance how he is to prepare for the examination.
Professor Pandey, but in our country where the education system is so flawed, there are paper leaks, exam leaks that happen on a very regular basis. There's a pattern that has been formed. How do we find a solution, a long-lasting, permanent solution to this? If our election commission can conduct the elections on such a massive scale, how is the National Testing Agency falling short of conducting the exams in a transparent manner?
Madam, you have to assess that similar examination was being held in the earlier years and there was not so much of an uproar. Only that the transparency and the integrity has come into question that the candidates are now worried. So the testing agency has to prove its transparency, and I think what they can do, they can also accept the question mark. They can also involve some of the stakeholders from the candidates, their parents who are well informed. They can also be brought into the committee to ascertain that the transparency and integrity of the system is accepted all over the country.
Professor Pandey, were you, as a professor, as the Vice Chancellor of a medical university, were you satisfied when the National Testing Agency officials came out and said that everything is fine, we have tested, we have ensured that there was no discrepancy, there were no paper leaks, and we are satisfied with our inquiry, and there is no question of a paper leak or any grace marks being given out of partiality being shown to a particular student or a particular bunch of students? Now, it was only after the Supreme Court has heard these pleas that it has demanded strong action being taken by the National Testing Agency.
Madam, that's unfortunate. I mean, the institution of this level should have that integrity that people will accept them without question. And if they have failed to satisfy to the citizen of this country that their words were not taken as a true value, it's most unfortunate. But we must congratulate Supreme Court for making the appropriate correction and forcing them to come to them to satisfy in their affidavit that everything was done in the right manner and correctly.
Dr. Rai, had the students not come out in large numbers and protested and reached out to the Supreme Court, do you think this issue would have been buried under the carpet?
Definitely. First of all, I just give you one example. On the 4th of June, the results were declared. And the same day, the result of the NEET was also declared. So people were more interested about the general election result, not for the UGC. But when the students started getting the marks and their rank, the uproar started. And then they came on the streets. And Indian Medical Association are having two wings. One is Junior Doctors Network is there, and other is MSN, that is Medical Student Network. Even we are getting hundreds of calls from our junior that wing. Sir, what is happening with us? We have studied for 2 years. There is no transparency, and obviously it is very, very clear that something wrong has been done at the few centers. Why the government, why the NTA is not coming forward and accepting the fault, and they're just giving excuses this way and that way? They should think of the future of the student. More than 24 lakh students have appeared. Do you think it is very easy to take the examination again? How much time it will take? They should, but the demand of the student is this. I have seen your survey also. Demand of a student is a re-examination. So now NTA will have to come forward and explain each and everything to the Honorable Supreme Court, and Supreme Court is the best judge. They will understand and they will take care of the students. The students' parents should not be spoiled.
Okay. All right. On that note, I'm out of time, but I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast. Thank you, Soumya Gupta and Vishesh, for giving us what your opinion is of this matter. And of course, you've taken the examination, so you know the entire pain of studying for 2 years and then finding that the examination was a hoax. It was a farce, and you are the ones who are at the receiving end of it.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.